Alright, like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. We're doing a classic right now. This movie's called The Whole Nine Yards. An unhappily married dentist becomes mixed up with mobsters and murder plots when he discovers that a notorious hitman has moved in next door. So this is a classic that came out in 2000. It's about an hour and a half long. Spoiler alert, let's get it. So we start off with our dentist Oz. He's just in the mirror brushing his teeth. Motherfucking Matthew Perry for Friends. I'll be there for you. Heaven ass. He shares the house with his wife and his mom-in-law. He's got to keep giving these gold diggers money. His wife asks him for $5,000 for no reason at all. So apparently her father got caught in some embezzlement scam or something like that, and he's got stuck paying the bill. Some eternal debt. But because of his profession, he don't want to divorce her because she will get half because he ain't signed a damn prenup. So he's basically just stuck with her right now. He gets in his car ready for work, then he turns the car off and throws a fucking rage. That's how every morning would start for him dealing with that bullshit. Yeah, you gotta give your wife money because of your dad's debts, or her dad's debts. She's taking you to the cleaners every day, treating you like shit, and you can't get rid of her because she ain't gonna end up taking half of your money. Yeah, think about it. I would feel that way too, basically. Exactly. Well, anyway, he gets to work. He's got Jill's sexy ass as an assistant. Yeah, I remember her from Saving Silverman. He's dealing with this guy's got to clean his teeth, but he's like, man, I don't want to drill. I'm scared of a drill. He just wants him to gas and pull a tooth out, and that's it. But nigga, your teeth are like a fucking biohazard. Fuck a drill. You need to jackhammer them shits. Clear his whole mouth out and start from scratch. Yep, this is your profession. You gotta deal with this shit. He goes on his lunch break with Jill, trying to get a burger. He's like, I don't want no goddamn mayonnaise. There you go, that stereotype where all white people like mayonnaise. Well, guess what? It ain't true. So Jill kind of knows Oz's situation at home, and she's like, yo, you know what? Why don't you just kill the bitch? They're speaking in hypotheticals, of course, but then she's like, you know what? I might know somebody. And of course, they put fucking mayonnaise on his shit. So anyway, he gets back to the house and he notices that he has a new neighbor. Motherfucking Bruce Willis! Going by the name of Jimmy in this movie. And everybody knows once you see that face, this movie has become certifiably great. So I was just thinking to himself, Jimmy looks real familiar, but then he recognizes this tattoo on his arm. That's Jimmy Trudesky, a contract killer, who's killed at least 17 people and officially ratted on this guy by the name of Yanni. Yanni was a mafia boss, but it turns out Jimmy only did 5 years in jail and now he's finally free. And obviously the dude Yanni wants Jimmy killed. This incident took place in Chicago, but they're in Canada right now. So Oz welcomes him into the neighborhood. He goes home and tells his wife the information, but she's looking at him like, damn, he kind of sexy. I'm like, well, what's her deal? Later on, when Oz is cutting the grass, Jimmy pulls up on him like, hey, let's go for a ride. You know, that's never good when somebody used to be in the mafia talk about let's go for a quote-unquote ride. But Jimmy just wants to see the sights. Jimmy tells Oz he's originally from New Jersey. Well, anyways, they're talking. Oz tells Jimmy about the situation with his wife's dad. And Oz trying to convince him he doesn't know shit about his past life. It's like, stop being extra, dude. And he gets her back home safely. Meanwhile, his wife comes home with this ridiculous plan talking about, hey, why don't we find a way to kill Jimmy? I'm going to send you to Chicago. Wait, what the fuck? That way, if he does this, he can stop paying her insurance money. Then she bribes him and says, if you do this for me, I'll finally give you a divorce, no strings attached. But fuck all that, I wouldn't trust this bitch either. But since she already made the arrangements and bought the tickets, he's going to Chicago. So he lets Jill know the situation. He's going to be gone for a couple of days. Jill's like, hey, you better get some ass while you're down there. Fuck that bitch. And Oz, when you give somebody else the business, I want all the details. His wife gives him a kiss for good luck. And he's like, do you got vomit bags on the plane? This one-liner is a classic. Then Oz's wife goes over to Jimmy's house. Jimmy answers, that's the die-hard face right there. Look at that face. So she knows he's a contract killer. And then she tells her the situation about how her husband is going to kill him. He's like, oh, really? So he talks to this guy he must have knew in Chicago a while back. He tells his friend he's supposed to meet up with Yanni. He's like, dude, are you suicidal? And he's like, well, you are a dentist. So the joke in the movie was back then, dentists had more of a suicidal rate. But he wasn't planning on killing anybody or setting anybody up or anything like that. The only reason why he took the trip is that he wanted his wife Sophie off his back. But when he gets to his room, this guy by the name of Frankie's just sitting in his chair. Man, I miss Michael Clark Duncan, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. So anyway, he's like, Yanni sent me, so you know the whereabouts of Jimmy, huh? Oz is not talking at first, but then Frankie does a little bit of convincing. So after giving him bear hugs and punches to the stomach, they finally ready to go see Yanni. Yanni! I haven't seen him since Ended Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger and shit. Well, anyway, Yanni's pissed off because of the situation where Jimmy snitched on his father to get him locked up so he wouldn't go do jail time, but he only did 5 years anyway. And Yanni was forced to take over the business. He was trying to go on vacation. And then midway through the conversation, we get introduced to this lady named Cynthia. Cynthia is Jimmy's wife, who Oz is infatuated with immediately. So why is Jimmy's wife with Yanni? Because Jimmy wants Cynthia dead. So he says, let's just say I decided to give Jimmy up. Can I get a piece of the action? You know, a little bit of change in my pocket? He's like, yeah, we'll work out something. So Oz gets dropped back off at the hotel. He's talking to his friend like, yo, who the fuck did you talk to? He's like, I ain't talked to nobody. Why, what's up? He was like, yo, Frankie was in my room. Like, are you serious, Frankie? His friend didn't say shit, so he's trying to figure out how the hell did Frankie get in my room? So then Oz calls Jimmy trying to figure out what's going on with his wife. Oz tells Jimmy the situation. He's like, you gotta get the hell out of Canada, like right now. But this is all part of Jimmy's plan, and Oz told him about his wife. He was like, whoa, what the fuck? Jimmy's like, look, just have fun while you're down there, and I'll explain everything when you get back. He can't handle it. He goes in the bathroom and throws all the way the fuck up. Then he gets a knock on the door. He has no idea who's about to show up. All of a sudden, it's Cynthia at the door. Cynthia's basically scoping him out, trying to figure out what kind of guy he is. She gets real close up on him, and he's like, let me go use some mouthwash and brush my teeth. Yeah, because he just finished throwing up. Pretty apropos for a dentist, right? So it's a fucked up situation, niggas trying to kill each other, but he assures her that he doesn't want anybody to die. The waiter brings up the scotch, he's like, man, crack that shit open. So her situation is she don't want to be married to Jimmy anymore. But like I said, it's more complicated than that because Jimmy wants her dead. The thing is, if he could kill her and Yanni, he'll collect on $10 million. The thing is, Yanni just wants Jimmy dead, but when he's gone, there'll be no reason for him to keep Cynthia around. So Yanni will probably just kill Cynthia too. So for some reason, as they're talking, the love is heavy in the air. She dips out with her squad because they was waiting downstairs the whole time. So she gives some type of excuse so they could drop her off somewhere so that way she could be alone. And she comes straight back to Oz. Turns out she was just trying to get rid of Yanni's company just so that she could have a one-on-one time. And then you know what happens. You can tell by the look at her face, he ended up giving her the business. Then he tells her everything that he told Jimmy. She's like, what the fuck? Come to find out, when Oz talked to Jimmy, Jimmy told him that his wife was trying to get him killed. He's like, how do you know? Like, because she tried to hire me as a contract killer. So Sophie had Oz go up to Chicago to talk to Yanni, to rat him out to Jimmy so he can get him killed. But Sophie did that so she could talk to Jimmy so she could have Oz killed. But in a minute, you're going to see how this is all accord to Jimmy's plan. Oz and Frankie get to the airport, and he tells him he's going to meet up with Giannis to get in the hotel room. But when they get in the hotel, Oz sees Jimmy there with a gun. Oh, shit. Scared to death. The crazy thing is, Jimmy and Frankie been working with each other the whole time to set this up so they can set up Yanni. Yeah, Oz is so damn confused at this point. They are out to eat and they still put mayonnaise in burgers. And you know, they don't like mayonnaise, especially Jimmy.
Mayonnaise on it. Come over your house, chop your legs off, set your house on fire, and watch as you drag your bloody stumps out of your house. Okay? Here?
Don't fuck with Bruce Willis and don't put mayonnaise on his burgers. They all getting along fine. It's all according to plan. The dialogue in this scene is cinematic gold. So the plan is he was to go to Chicago. They wanted Yanni to know anyway, so Yanni would make a trip to find Jimmy. But Jimmy's plan is he wants him to come down there so he could be on his turf and he could kill Yanni. Then he asks Jimmy about Sophie, like, hey, did she make a pass at you or anything? He's like, I never touched somebody else's wife. Friends don't do that. Besides, I don't find her that attractive anyway. And that's where you fucked up at. You better hope that God he doesn't find out. So after that, his beeper goes off. He's got to go back to work. But throughout everything is going on, he's nervous. He can't even keep his hands straight to straighten the drill. So I was like, fuck it, we just got to pull the tooth. After that, this nigga was about to turn the gas on and end himself. Like, Jill was like, oh, fuck that, no. So he tells her the situation. And she's like, oh my God, Jimmy's living next door to you. I fucking idolize that man. She's like, you have to take me to go meet him. And so he does. She goes down the list of how she studied all of Jimmy's kills. So I talked about Sophie trying to hire Jimmy to kill Oz, right? Apparently this wasn't the first time. Actually, the first contract killer Sophie was going to use was Jill. But Jill developed a soft spot for Oz, so she couldn't do it. So Sophie was going to have her husband Oz killed by his assistant Jill, his receptionist that's only been there for like a month. Because to Sophie, he's worth more dead than alive, so she can collect the insurance money. So Jimmy's going to take on Jill and make her a protege. So Jimmy gets a call from Frankie. Frankie tells him the good news. Good news is Yanni's on his way up here and he's bringing Cynthia. Now he can give a fuck less about Yanni, but he cares about Cynthia right now because of obvious reasons. But we know why Jimmy's trying to kill both of them so he can collect $10 million. Like I said, the banter between Oz and Jimmy back and forth is fucking hilarious. So he's acting like he's going to throw a rage, but really he's just leaving to go back to his house so he can make a phone call to warn Cynthia. Unfortunately, Yanni and the boys are at the house and he pick up the phone and he just hangs up. So basically he couldn't warn her. Everybody's getting ready for the beef. Meanwhile, Sophie is supposed to be on some quote-unquote vacation, but she ends up smashing this dude. That's my guy from Half Baked. Oh shit, Kenny. Well, anyway, Sophia hires this guy as a contract killer to kill Oz. At first, he promised her $15,000. Now it's only $10,000, but he doubled it up to $12,500. Plane finally touches down. Yanni, Cynthia, and the crew get off the plane. Oz is waiting on them, along with Frankie. And now it's nighttime. They back at Oz's house. Yanni, Frankie, Oz, and Cynthia are all in one garage, and they're all looking out to see when Jimmy comes back home. And they got the boomsticks already, you know, that Ash Williams groovy shit. You know, shotguns, but I'm a fan of the Evil Dead, so you already know what it is. But Jimmy ain't sleep. Him and Jill scoping out the back of the territory, and they spot Sophia in the contract killer's car. And he's trying to make sure everything's going down. They go over the plans, and they about to get shit popping. Cynthia needs to get some feminine products, and Oz is going to help her out because, you know, they're in his house. Oz warned Cynthia about the plan, but Cynthia was about to do the same thing for Oz. It's like, damn. And now niggas ready for the mission. Kenny sees all these other niggas moving. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? They break into the house. It's time to get Jimmy. Kenny's on the move. They up the steps. They ready to get Jimmy. But then Jill pops out the other door with no clothes on. Distraction. And Jimmy laced the bodyguards. And Jill popped Yanni in the neck. Yeah, nigga, you about to see your maker. That's the face you do not want to see if you're on Bruce Willis's bad side. After everything happened, Oz and Cynthia make a break for it. The cop was like, what the fuck? I mean, that guy's like, where are they going? He's just wandering around the grass like, what the fuck? So then Jill still yells out the window naked to distract the guy, Kenny. And then Jimmy pops him, done deal dead. Yep, Sophia, this shit done backfired. She tried to escape and he took the keys, no key. Sophia hauling ass, but why are you yelling? Stop yelling, they can hear you. So they're carrying in bodies. Then they found out Oz and Cynthia left and Jimmy's like, what the fuck? Turns out the guy Sophie hired as a contract killer is actually an undercover cop. As they dipping out, he gets a page from Jimmy. Oz is like, I can't let you kill her. Jimmy's like, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with you. Then he tells Jimmy he's in love with her. She's like, oh shit. First he just glared over it, then he's like, the fuck did you just say? That's when Jill comes in like, oh, she's the one that he smashed in Chicago. Yes, his face turned instantly pissed off in like 2 seconds. Yeah, they're trying to calm him down, but they can't. Now, Oz says he has a win-win situation that he just thought about. So at this point, Jimmy wants to annihilate Oz, right? But Oz knows about the whole situation about how Jimmy killed the cop. So first they gotta handle that shit. So once they finally get Jimmy to calm down, of course Oz and Cynthia had their little moment first after he gets off the phone. Jimmy calms down and he's willing to go through with the plan. But before they go through with the plan, he puts her on a boat because he can't go back with Cynthia. He's gotta go back by himself. Because simply put, Cynthia's dead if he goes back with him. So he drives back to his office where Jimmy's waiting with the dead cop. He's like, alright, let's get to work. So what they do scans of Jimmy. They tamper with the cop's mouth. They put his hands in some type of sulfuric acid, liquid iodine. The point is, police won't be able to recover fingerprints. Some smart shit. Then they set him up for a scan, and they chipped a couple of teeth so they could have the exact scan as the cops as Jimmy's is. That's a wild ass plan. That shit off the hook and it worked. And now it's time to barbecue niggas, Yanni and the cop. You know what we mean by barbecue? Time to Molotov Navi these niggas. Done deal the end. Then the investigation bureau's on their way the next day. They asked him about his vehicle. They said they found it in a certain spot. He gives them a story about how he let Jimmy borrow it. They go to inspect Jimmy's house. This guy finds Kenny's car. Then he finds a tape recording with Sophia and Kenny talk about their dirty deeds and talk about their mom knew about it. Sophia's mom. They come back to the house convinced that Jimmy's dead, and they tell him stuff he already knows about his wife. She starts crying and stuff because she ain't got no damn alibi, thinking she can contain stuff. And they bring the mom in too. She's going down. They both getting their just desserts. And they got your voice on tape. That's what happened to gold diggers, and you try to kill niggas on top of that. They like, fuck you. Which on top will make it very easy for him to get a divorce and be able to be good. Now we have the other matter. Settling the money. So his plan is to keep Cynthia somewhere safe, and he's going to take Jimmy to the art museum or something like that. Thinking to himself he's safe because there's a bunch of people around. He ain't going to try nothing. They meet up with Jimmy, and Jill is actually the one that's going to be meeting up with Cynthia. But Jimmy's one step ahead. He's like, nah, we ain't going to the art museum. We're going to the marina. He rented the boat already. And Frankie was driving. Yeah, he's just one step ahead of you, dog. So now you getting on the boat. Jill and Cynthia meet up face to face. She drops her gun in the river, and then they go to the bank. Now, Jill's fucking with her at this point. She's like, you know what? You could easily take the $10 million and dip out. But obviously, if she does that, Jimmy's dead as shit. So it's like a test of loyalty. How much does Cynthia really love Oz? And for Oz's sake, he better hope Cynthia does the right thing. But while Oz is on the other side, Frankie is talking to Jimmy. He's like, man, he knows too much. We're going to just kill him anyway. So Jimmy reassures Frankie, like, I ain't going soft. I know what to do. Then Cynthia tells Jill she thinks she loves Oz. So much so that she puts the $5 million in there. And then Jill says, take an extra $1 million. It's going to be your wedding present. That's what Jimmy told her to do. Jimmy gets the call, everything's all good. Then he puts the gun on Oz, like, oh shit. Damn, Oz, what the fuck though? But then he points the gun at Frankie, and he done deals Frankie out the boat. Bottom line, you don't fuck with Bruce Willis. And I was like, yo, why'd you kill him, yo? He's like, look, bottom line, it was either him or you. And when I got the money, he eventually came after my share, so he had to go. And he's like, plus I know you good, because you about to marry my wife, and you about to be stable. He's like, I don't know, maybe you are getting soft. Oz finds out that Jimmy actually has feelings for Jill. They meet up and get it cracking. Oz meets back up with Cynthia, they get it cracking, and they got married for real and danced the night away. And there you have it. This movie has always been in my top 5. I just had to do it. I was like, why not? The whole 9 yards on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what it is. Slick, easy, easy, mister. 663. Big. Shoot the goddamn slogan.